right, let's jump into another deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring the life and career of Bay Area rapper the Jacka.
Oh, the Jacka, huh?
Yep, using a Wikipedia entry and a Daily Mail article to help us out.
Interesting combination.
It seems like it'll be quite the story. We'll be looking at his musical legacy, but also um, digging into the mystery surrounding his unsolved murder back in 2015.
Ooh, okay, yeah. The Jacka story always gets to me, like the way it all comes together. Personal hardship, spiritual transformation, and then this crazy prolific music career.
Yeah.
It's wild. And it's not just a hip hop thing. It touches on bigger issues too, like
Yeah.
social injustice and resilience.
Absolutely. And to really grasp it all, we got to start at the beginning.
Right.
So, born Dominic Newton in Pittsburgh, California.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Yeah, 1977. And man, his earthly life, it wasn't easy at all. His parents were only 14 when he was born.
Wow.
Yeah, so he ended up having to be the breadwinner for the family as a teenager. Talk about pressure. And then on top of that, legal trouble hits him early, spends a year locked up at just 18.
Man, that's rough. That early exposure to hardship, that's got to be key to understanding his music, right?
Totally. It becomes this recurring theme, this thread through everything he's reflecting on: street life, poverty, the whole system, those cycles that trap people.
It's like he's giving a voice to that experience.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how this struggle for survival kind of leads into a total spiritual shift.
Oh, yeah. His conversion to Islam?
Yep. Changed his name to Shahid Akbar.
Powerful stuff.
Do you think, it's got to be more than just the name change, right? The spiritual shift. Could it have been like a framework for him to process all those harsh realities he faced?
Oh, for sure. Come on. The Jacka's conversion to Islam, it wasn't just like switching clothes. It was deep, a search for meaning, like purpose, a way to rise above all that. And his music reflects that. Peace, justice, resistance against oppression. It's all there.
It's like his music became this outlet for those themes, this way to connect with others who are feeling those same things.
Right. That message of faith and resilience, man, it hit hard.
Totally. And with such a complex personal history, it's no surprise his music was equally layered. He kicks things off with the Bay Area rap group, Mob Figaz.
Mob Figaz, yeah.
And their origin story, it's almost like something out of a movie, right?
Like what happened?
They bump into Sibo, already a known rapper, just randomly in a record store, and boom, that same day, they're in the studio recording.
No way. Same day. That's insane.
That's the Bay Area scene for you, seizing the moment, that collaborative energy, it's infectious.
Seriously, talk about being in the right place at the right time.
They totally made the most of it, too. They end up on Sibo's album Till My Casket drops in '98, and then just a year later, their own debut album, Sibo's Mob Figaz, hits the Billboard hip-hop chart.
Whoa, hold on. Billboard charts. That's huge, especially for a group that, formed out of nowhere.
Right. Speaks volumes about the energy in the Bay Area rap scene back then.
It was electric, man, raw energy, that independent spirit. Artists were hungry, and there was this real sense of community.
So Mob Figaz's success, it's not just about them. It's like a snapshot of that whole movement, that fertile ground for hip-hop.
Totally.
Now, got to talk about the Jacka's solo career. This is where things get really interesting. We're talking over 40 independent albums.
40.
Wow.
In just 14 years.
That's like an album every few months? That's nuts.
Some key ones to check out. The Jack of the Mob Figaz from 2001, Tear Gas in 2009, and then What Happened to the World?
What Happened to the World?
Yeah. And this one's heavy. It dropped just 2 months before his death in 2015. But think about it. To churn out that much music independently, it's more than just work ethic, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's a fire there, a creative drive that just wouldn't quit.
And he finds incredible success doing it his way, manages to sell 30,000 units of his first solo album, all independently, with 60% of those sales coming from outside of California.
He'll have 60% from outside California? That just blows apart the idea that you need a label to make it big. Right. The Jacka built his own fan base. Through word of mouth, touring, staying true to his vision, it's all about authentic connection.
It's inspiring. He didn't need some big machine to amplify his voice. He built his own platform and let the music speak.
Exactly. And his song Glamorous Lifestyle from the Tear Gas album that practically became an anthem in the Bay, it resonated with people on such a real level.
Oh, yeah. Glamorous Lifestyle. Classic.
And adding to his cultural impact, his music gets featured in the 2013 film Fruitvale Station.
Oh, wow. Fruitvale Station. That's a powerful film.
It is. Deals with heavy stuff, police brutality, social injustice, all themes that were at the heart of the Jacka's music.
So his music's not just entertainment, it's part of this bigger conversation.
Exactly. And it adds this whole other layer to his legacy. But then tragedy strikes. His life is cut short. February 2, 2015, fatally shot in Oakland.
Man, it's heartbreaking. Such a contrast to the message of hope in his music.
It happened at the intersection of 94th Avenue and MacArthur Boulevard.
I know that area.
According to a witness, he was shot in the head during a late-night jam session with friends. And to make it even more tragic, the murder's never been solved.
No closure. That's got to be tough for his family and friends.
Absolutely, and it raises questions, like what's being done to address violence in these communities?
Right, like his unsolved murder is part of this bigger problem, gun violence. It disproportionately affects marginalized communities. We got to talk about that.
We do, but his death, it wasn't just a statistic. It sparked this huge outpouring of grief from fans, from other artists.
Yeah, the tributes were pouring in.
It shows how much he was loved, respected. The rapper Freeway, who collaborated with the Jacka on an album just a year before, he posted this incredibly heartfelt tribute on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, asking for forgiveness and mercy for his friend. Signed it off with, "Love you, bro." It wasn't just a musical partnership. There was a genuine bond there.
Man, that brotherhood, it extended throughout the whole hip-hop community. It's like a family.
And Wu-Tang Clan's Raekwon, he tweeted out, "Rest in peace to the homie Jacka. He was a good dude. Short, simple, but you could feel the weight of that loss."
Absolutely. And even Damian Lillard, NBA star, he felt compelled to speak out, tweeted, "R.I.P. to the Jacka, Oakland rap legend. Life was taken tonight in Oakland. Got to do better toward our own man. It's a call for change, a sense of responsibility."
It shows how these artists, they become symbols of their communities. They voice the hopes and frustrations of so many.
Their loss is felt deeply. It's more than just entertainment. It's a representation of a shared identity.
Right, and speaking of shared identity, both our sources highlight that the Jacka was a devout Muslim, went by his Muslim name, Shahid Akbar, for a large part of his adult life.
Right, that's a core part of understanding his music, his whole worldview.
Exactly, and it wasn't just symbolic, this conversion to Islam. It was a profound spiritual transformation. It impacted his heart, his relationships, his purpose.
Definitely. His lyrics often explore these Islamic themes. Peace, justice, submission to a higher power. Not something you hear a lot in the typical kind of materialistic world of hip-hop.
True, some might see a contradiction, right? His faith versus the realities of his life, the violence, the legal issues.
Yeah, like how do those two things coexist?
But maybe it's more nuanced than that. Maybe his faith was a source of strength, guidance, a way to navigate those complexities.
I think you're onto something. It's easy to jump to conclusions, but the Jacka story reminds us that life is messy, and faith doesn't erase that mess. It helps you make sense of it.
To find peace amidst the chaos. And we can't forget he was also a family man, a husband, a father.
Right, it humanizes him.
It adds another layer to his legacy, another dimension to the tragedy of his loss.
It reminds us that beyond the stage, beyond the lyrics, there was a real person with loved ones, a family who lost someone precious.
It really emphasizes that ripple effect of violence, how it extends outward, impacting families, communities, for years.
Exactly. The Jacka's story, it's a stark reminder that violence isn't just numbers, it's about people, real human consequences.
So let's shift gears a bit, dive deeper into his music. His work ethic was incredible. Over 40 independent albums in 14 years.
That's dedication.
It's a testament to his passion, his artistry.
He was a machine, constantly creating, collaborating, pushing the boundaries of Bay Area hip-hop.
A true independent artist, built his own label, connected directly with fans.
The DIY ethos, so central to hip-hop, he lived it.
And that freedom, it allowed him to stay true to himself, to make the music he wanted, no compromises.
He found success on his own terms. It's amazing.
Right. It challenges the whole idea of what it means to make it in the music industry. He didn't need mainstream approval. He built something real, something that resonated with people.
It's that authenticity that's what draws people in.
And that early success, that first solo album selling 30,000 units independently, with more than half of those sales coming from outside California, that speaks volumes.
It shows that his music transcended geography. It connected with people who felt his words, his style, his portrayal of life.
He wasn't afraid to tackle tough topics, social issues, to call out injustice. His music was a reflection of his reality, but also a call for something better.
And it's in songs like Glamorous Lifestyle from the Tear Gas album that you really see it all come together. That song, it became an anthem in the Bay. It captured a whole generation.
It went beyond just a song. It became a cultural touchstone.
Absolutely. And then you have his music being featured in Fruitvale Station, a film that tackles police brutality head-on. It adds another layer to his legacy, a powerful statement.
It shows he wasn't just a rapper. He was a chronicler of his times, An artist who used his voice to shed light on these crucial issues.
He connected with people on a deeper level. His music made you think, made you feel.
It's a tragedy that his voice was silenced so abruptly. But his legacy, it lives on. It inspires us to fight for justice, to use our platforms for good.
Well said. The Jacka story, it's a reminder that even in the face of hardship, creativity can thrive, and art can be a powerful force for change.
His story is truly captivating, and I think we've only just scratched the surface.
There's so much more to uncover. There's layers to it, right?
Yeah.
It makes you appreciate the lyrics even more.
Oh, totally. You hear those stories, those tributes, and it adds a whole other dimension to his legacy.
It's like we get a glimpse of the man behind the music.
Right, like Freeway's Instagram post, it wasn't just some generic RIP, it was deep, you know?
Like, what did he say?
He's praying for the Jacka, asking for forgiveness, for mercy, ends it with, love you, bro. It was real, you know?
Yeah.
More than just music.
Yeah, they had a connection, and that feeling, that brotherhood, it ran through the whole hip-hop community. Like when Raekwon from Wu-Tang Clan tweeted out, "Rest in peace to the homie Jacka. He was a good dude."
Yeah, simple but powerful. You can feel the respect there.
It's like losing a family member.
And even Damian Lillard, I mean, he's not exactly known for being a Bay Area hip-hop head, but he tweeted, "RIP to the Jacka, Oakland rap legend. Life was taken tonight in Oakland. Got to do better toward our own man." Like, it was a wake-up call.
Yeah, it highlights that sense of loss, that call for change. It wasn't just contained to the music world.
It rippled outwards, and it's interesting what you said about shared identity, because both of our sources mentioned that the Jacka was a devout Muslim. He went by Shahid Akbar, his Muslim name, for much of his adult life.
Right, and that's crucial to understanding his music, his whole perspective. It wasn't just a phase.
It was a transformation, a spiritual one. It impacted everything, his art, his relationships, his sense of purpose.
And his lyrics, right? They explore these Islamic themes, peace, justice, submitting to something bigger, not the usual hip-hop fare.
Yeah, and some might see a clash there, right? His faith versus the reality of his life, the violence, the legal troubles.
Like, how do those two things exist in the same space?
But maybe it's not about contradiction. Maybe his faith gave him strength, helped to make sense of it all.
It's a way to navigate those rough waters, to find something to hold on to.
And we have to remember, he wasn't just an artist, a rapper. He was a husband, a father, a family man.
It brings it home, you know? It reminds us there was a whole life outside the music.
It makes the tragedy of his loss even more profound. A family lost a father, a husband.
It underscores that ripple effect we were talking about. The impact of violence goes far beyond the immediate victim.
And it's a reminder that those statistics, they represent real people, real lives, shattered.
Every number is a story, a tragedy.
So let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about his music. His work ethic was insane. Over 40 independent albums in 14 years.
Wow, that's like an album every 3 months. It's unbelievable.
It speaks to his drive, his passion for his craft.
He was always creating, always pushing the boundaries of Bay Area hip-hop.
And doing it all independently, building his own label, connecting with fans directly. It's inspiring.
He embodied that independent spirit, that DIY ethos that's so core to hip-hop.
He didn't compromise. He made the music he wanted to make and found success on his own terms.
And that's what's so remarkable. He proved you don't need the mainstream to build a career, to make an impact.
His early success, that first solo album, selling 30,000 copies independently, with more than half of those sales coming from outside California. That says it all.
His music resonated far beyond the Bay Area. It connected with people who felt his honesty, his rawness.
He wasn't afraid to address those social issues, to call out injustice. His music was a reflection of his life, but also a call for change.
And Glamorous Lifestyle, that song from Tear Gas, it really captures that spirit. It became an anthem for a generation.
It went beyond just music. It became part of the culture.
And then you have his music featured in Fruitvale Station, a film that doesn't shy away from the tough issues, police brutality, systemic racism.
It elevates his work, gives it this whole other layer of meaning.
It shows that he wasn't just rapping about these issues, he was living them, and his music gave voice to a community that's often silenced.
It's a tragedy that his voice was cut short, but his message, his legacy, it lives on.
It's a reminder to fight for what's right, to use our voices, our platforms, to push for change, to make the world a better place.
His story is so powerful, so inspiring, and I think we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah, it's one of those stories that sticks with you, really makes you think. What stood out to you the most during this deep dive into the Jacka's life?
It's tough to choose just one thing. His story's got so many layers, but that contrast, between his upbringing and his faith, that really gets me. He could have easily gone down a different path, given in to the negativity, the violence, But he chose something else. He found strength in his spirituality.
That duality, right? Tough Oakland streets, but embracing peace and justice from his faith. It's complex, and his music, it embodies that complexity. It's raw, honest, and it hits hard.
It's more than just music. It's like a reflection of his reality, the struggles, the triumphs. He gave a voice to a community that's often overlooked.
And he did it all on his own terms, independent to the core, built his own label, connected with his fans directly.
It's incredible he achieved all that without needing anyone's approval, just raw talent and hard work. It makes you wonder what he could have achieved with even more support.
Yeah, what if he'd had that mainstream platform?
Exactly. But even without it, his impact is undeniable, and I think that's why his loss is still felt so strongly. He represented something bigger.
He was more than just a rapper. He was a symbol of hope, of resilience, of creative expression in the face of adversity.
He embodied that potential for positive change, that spark of light in a community often overshadowed by darkness.
And his story, it reminds us that even in the toughest times, creativity can flourish. Art can be a force for good, for personal growth.
It's inspiring. It shows that we can rise above our challenges, find meaning in unexpected places.
So, thinking about everything we've discussed, what does the Jacka's legacy mean for you, the listener? His life offers valuable lessons about resilience, about faith, about the power of art to inspire change.
It challenges us to speak out against injustice, to support the marginalized, to use our voices for good, no matter how small our platform may seem.
It's a call to action, to be more compassionate, more aware, to work towards a more just and equitable society.
The Jacka's life is a testament to that. It's a powerful example.
His legacy lives on in the music and the lives he touched. It continues to inspire, to challenge us.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm left wondering, what if the Jacka had reached an even wider audience? What if his message had resonated on a global scale? What kind of impact could he have had on the conversation about social justice, about faith, about the power of art? It's a question we can all ponder as we continue to grapple with these issues today.
Yeah, it's heavy stuff, but maybe the best way to honor his memory is to continue the conversations he started, to amplify the voices of those fighting for justice, to seek understanding and connection, even when it's hard. That's a legacy worth fighting for.
Absolutely. Well said. Thank you for joining us on this journey into Jacka's life and legacy. We hope you've gained a new appreciation for his music, his message, his enduring impact on the world. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.